to jkgames, a gaming podcast where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
Maybe some that we don't.
And whether you play on easy mode,
or you like a good challenge,
this is a show where we'll try to level up your gaming knowledge.
Yeah. Welcome back. Wow. What a week it's been, Jerk.
I've had a great week. I've been
Good.
hanging out around the house, doing this and that, taking my time on small projects. Yeah, took a staycation.
I love that.
You know, it's been great. So
we were talking. You got a lot of things done. You did talk about your little figure you posted on Instagram.
Oh yeah. Obviously I did other adult related things on my time off around the house. I fixed a wall. I painted.
Beautiful.
I cleaned a lot. Did some laundry.
Good.
And then I've just been watching Barry, a show on HBO.
Ooh.
I'm trying to pad this with she's an adult. She does things like clean the house and take her dog to the vet. It was time for his checkup. All that to say that yes, I'm working on a Lego set, but hey, this isn't my first Lego set I've put together, but it's probably like my third. But it's it's definitely the largest one I've tackled. It is a tall neck from Horizon Forbidden West, Zero Dawn as well. It's in both games. It's probably going to stand about this high, like here.
Nice.
Like that, but maybe a little larger.
You should watch to see how big.
I don't know how many. I don't know how many pieces it is. I'll have to do that a quick Google. But anyways, yes, I will definitely post the progress of me putting it together on Instagram. I just got some of the bottom parts done today, and Aloy, of course, is like the first thing you put together, and she's like this big, just super tiny.
Nice. I haven't done Legos in so long. I did a lot of Star Wars ones when I was younger. I loved doing little Star Wars sets.
It's
done it in a long time.
Way more relaxing than I thought. Like I started out, what took the most time at the beginning was getting all the parts all organized by color and then shape. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that was my approach to it. That was really relaxing. And then I just started assembling, and it's so easy. Like you just follow it. Step 1, step 2.
You said you were listening to classical music while you were doing it, right?
Yes. Also got a little upgrade in the theater room, which I call it's our living room. But I got an updated receiver for our surround sound system and the speakers, and it's Dolby Atmos compatible. Mm-hmm. And if you're not familiar with Dolby Atmos, it's a new technology that's it's basically the same thing as like spatial audio or 3D audio if you have a PS5. But basically it feels like the audio is like all the way around you. And with Apple Music, you can actually search for like spatial audio like playlists, and most of those songs also support Dolby Atmos. And
that's awesome.
Holy smokes, it sounds so good, Kayla. You got to come over and just like listen.
Yes, I've been wanting to come over and watch a movie.
Yeah, I got to do it, and it just sounds so good. It's so crystal clear, and it's just like surrounding you in the most natural way. Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
I know
I'm just like oversharing these little things I've been doing throughout the week, but
speaking of things we've been doing, you know that I've been keeping an eye on.
Oh, by the way, I'm Jerica, one of your hosts. Sorry, Kayla.
Oh yeah. We had been being good about that, about introducing ourselves.
Trying to do better.
Yep. So when we've been doing the podcast for a while now. When we first started, I feel like we were not I would always forget to introduce myself, and we got on a good little track there. But sometimes you just get flowing in the conversation.
Yes, I started talking about Legos and classical music.
Kayla, by the way.
Dolby Atmos. Oh yeah, that's Kayla, the other host on the show. She's great.
We like to talk about Legos here, and occasionally some music and shows and games, primarily.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of things to talk about here. What's funny is, today we're going to be focusing primarily on like trailers, game trailers, what, we were just discussing, like, what causes people or, developers, studios to release trailers when they do. Like, when do they release what and why and that sort of thing. We don't have the answers, but we want to speculate, With that being said, there's a lot of new announcements right now. So, and some aren't really announcements. Some are just, new footage and things like that. So we'll get into all that later. But
I found. Oh, I didn't mean to
Yes.
interrupt.
No, go ahead.
The Horizon Zero Dawn figure. I could actually probably put it in. Hold on. We're gonna look. I'm gonna pull it up so everybody can see it. I'm gonna do it right now, because I can do that. As soon as I find the right button. Aha.
Hey, that's okay. Let me stall.
Window capture. Add the source. Oh, are you trying to do something while I do something else here?
I was gonna just try to stall for you, so you could get up. And you're only getting this content if you're viewing on either Twitch.
She's got it up already, by the way.
Oh, you do? Okay.
But I just don't know how to, like, resize it. Why is this so hard? Why is Discord, not Discord, OBS, so complicated? Ah!
So can't see it yet, but that's probably just because of the delay.
Well,
there it is. There it is.
Well, you can't see it because it won't let me, like, expand it for some reason.
That's dumb.
It is dumb because, like, I think I have it. If I load it up, can you see it now? I won't be able to see it on my screen, but you probably can see it. Anyways.
Let us know in the chat if you can see it.
I think you can see it. There's a tall neck. It's over 1,200 pieces.
Wow, that's a lot.
I don't know. Is that a lot with the Lego set?
I feel like it is.
I don't know what the average piece count is. It's like I'm looking at sheets.
Late from lunch can see it. He said he can see it.
Great. I'm so glad he can see it. Well,
got a little emote by your name because you're subbed. Wow.
Oh, wow. We
Look at us. Yeah, thank you.
So that's it. Let me remove this. I'm going to learn how to use this instead of trying to do stuff live one day.
We're impulsive people, okay? Sometimes you just gotta throw it up there. All right, well, if you want to see all of this live and in action, you should definitely follow our Twitch, which is at jkgames podcast. We're doing a lot over there now. You should definitely go follow us. You can be alerted when we go live, and you can engage in the episodes as they're happening. But you can also follow our Instagram and our Twitter, which is at jkgames podcast. Pretty much universally is that, and YouTube, which is where we put our video episodes after the fact, is just jkgames. If you search that, or jkgames podcast, I'm sorry. But if you ever want direct links, you can always go to our Instagram, and you can click on our Linktree, which has all of our social links if you ever can't find us anywhere. And then, of course, you can always email us at jkgamespodcast@gmail.com. And please leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. We would love to read your thoughts.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
We'll read them.
Yep.
We'll do it.
All right.
Promise you that.
Well, yeah. So, Jerica, you told me earlier, it's so funny. We were talking earlier while we were setting up, and I was like, we're doing the podcast already. We're just chatting.
I just started.
What have you been playing?
Okay, yeah. So we didn't get into, like, basically what I just shared at the beginning of the show is what I was telling Kayla. We didn't get into what we've been playing yet, so.
Yeah, we saved that for live.
This is live and now actually happening between me and Kayla, for real.
Yes.
What have I been played? I picked up this random game on the old computer. Ooh. So don't tell nobody. I got on the PC and I downloaded a game from Steam. A friend of the show recommended it to me. But it's called the Stanley Parable.
Interesting.
You ever heard of it, Kayla?
Never heard of it.
Well, don't look up anything about it, because I didn't.
Oh, okay.
And I still don't know what's going on, but I don't want to be spoiled by it.
Fair, that's fair.
All I'll say is that I think it's been around. I think it's a game that's been around. Like, I literally was told, hey, you should play this, and don't look up anything about it. So I was like, okay. I love those scenarios, by the way.
Me too,
It's usually going to surprise me. And I'll just say this. You're walking around an office, okay? You're this guy named Stanley walking around an office.
Severance vibes.
A little bit, yeah, actually.
Okay.
For sure.
Have you seen that?
Yes. Oh yeah, it's my.
Oh my gosh.
I would have to say it is probably my favorite show from this year so far.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
Also, one of my favorite shows, Arcane, which I just told Kayla to just hold off from watching. One of the writers from Arcane worked on Severance, and that's probably why it's so freaking good, because Arcane's great.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Very cool.
Severance is another one like you might want to just wait until the second season comes out because it ends on a big cliffhanger.
No, but you might get. I don't think
so
there's more. I'm pretty sure there's more of a chance of getting spoiled on Severance than there is the Stanley Parable. So.
Oh, okay.
You know, you should watch Severance. Don't get spoiled.
So you got it on Steam?
Yes.
Stanley Parable? Okay.
I wish I could talk more about it. All I'll say is, so far it's very interesting. I laughed. I don't know what to do, but I'm breaking the rules.
Has anybody in the chat played this game? Please let us know. No spoilers, but let us know if you've seen it. I would love to know.
So
your spoilery thoughts.
So I picked that up, and then I started perusing. I've started using that word lately, Kayla.
Perusing.
Fancy. And
wiggle your glasses.
Yep.
Perusing.
Started perusing the old Game Pass again, just to see, like, is there anything new that I haven't played in a while, or... Because I'm just, like, in the mood for something, and I can't really put my finger on it, really. And I Game Pass because I don't have to buy anything. It's not a commitment. So I downloaded the Avengers. So that's on there.
Nice.
And I've never played. I never played it. I feel like the biggest thing for me in that is I'm not looking to play it like I would Destiny, like the live service aspects. That there is a lot of that, I think, in this game. I really just wanted to play the campaign because, you know, I saw Doctor Strange recently, so it put me in you know, the Avengers Marvel mood.
Yeah.
So I downloaded that and started playing that, and so far it's sort of fun. Not gonna say it's bad. I'm intrigued by the story, where it's heading. I didn't, and it's been out long enough now, but I didn't anticipate Miss Marvel. Is that right?
Yes.
Miss Marvel
or Captain Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
It's told from her. She's got her own show coming on Disney Plus.
Oh,
right?
Miss Marvel, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the story sort of starts with her and her, like, her perspective of meeting the Avengers and stuff. So she, like, gets invited to a comic book. Have you seen this game? Like the first part of the game, the campaign?
No.
Okay. Well,
no, but Hunter's played it and he told me a little bit about it.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that was part of it. And I was like, oh, this is really cute and so sweet. She's nice. I like her character. So even though
it gives you
an
introduction to her.
Huh?
So it gives you like an introduction to her, so when you see her in the show.
Exactly. Like, I don't know anything about her. Did you read those comics? Do you know much about?
I know some about her, not a ton, but I know like some of her origin story.
Well, I played a little bit of that. I probably played about an hour and a half. So I don't know if that's enough to know. But I did play as Iron Man,
nice.
Thor, and because it like switches around the characters at the beginning. Played the Hulk as the Hulk.
Nice.
He was fun.
Nice.
And I don't think I played as Captain America, so I may not have finished that whole bridge scene just yet. So the game looks awesome. Like, the graphics, the motion capture seems great. The voice acting seems phenomenal. So let's see. Avengers, here, Hunter's in here. Avengers got a lot of hate because of the beta, but it was a far better game than expected. Okay.
Nice.
So it might be worth still perusing. Well, I'm not going to peruse another game, but perusing in this game.
Right.
Might stick with it.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else you've been
I feel
playing?
Like, and of course, getting caught up on Halo, the TV show, and also playing Halo. Back to the Dolby Atmos thing, Kayla. So the reason why I got back into Halo is because it is Dolby Vision. It's supported Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. So whoa, wow, wee wah, Halo sounds so good. in the theater room, aka my living room. So
Yeah.
it sounds so good. And so I just started playing that again and started actually like I remapped the entire controller to play like Destiny so I could actually play Halo again and feel like I'm doing something and it's not like devastatingly hard. But Halo is still a very hard game and I'm playing on normal. Not gonna lie. Halo is a hard game. But I started playing through that a little bit. I'm just like mainlining it. I'm going through all just the campaign stuff. I'm not trying to explore the world and do all these other things, which, by the way, I don't think that world is worth exploring in this game. I don't want any Halo haters, but I was like, it's very desolate to be. I don't know, did we need an open world Halo game? I don't think so. I don't think we needed it. I just wish they would have committed to a few other things, because it just feels like Master Chief is like, maybe I'm still early in the game, but I feel like he's sort of not that like, I have some weird thoughts after watching the show, because I'm not done with the show, but like, I was like, Master Chief is just sort of, what's the word? It's expected. I still feel like there's nothing worth saving in this world, because it's just like Master Chief, this other Cortana, and this guy that found him in space. But like, I just don't feel any like connection to those characters yet. And the world's sort of empty.
Scenes.
Huh?
I've heard there's some lovey scenes.
What? In Halo?
Yeah, coming
the show?
up. Yeah.
I'm not there yet. Audrey asked me if I've heard the news, and I was like, what news about Master Chief? What is it now? What did he do?
In the chat, Hunter said, Arkham Arrow said, Kate Bishop is my favorite to play as. So that's cool. And then he said, immersive sound, baby.
Oh, yeah. Sounds so good. Cool. Anyways, yeah, I'm playing through Halo, just going through the campaign stuff. So far, all the side stuff, like conquering little outposts, just very repetitious, and I don't know if it's really worth my time. So I just want to see what happens next. And Halo Infinite, the story of Halo Infinite. So, and then, yeah, I'm getting caught up on the show, which I've heard like mixed reviews on the show, but I'm really digging the show. I like what's his name that's playing Master Chief. He's doing a good job in my opinion. I like how they're humanizing Master Chief. I like that he doesn't wear his helmet that much. Like, come on. I feel like that's the kind of reinvention we need, like, from the games, in my opinion. Like, I need a God of War like reinvention of Halo for Master Chief. He deserves it. I don't know. But maybe this game wraps up in a really cool way. I don't know. But it is fun to play. Now that I've remapped my controller. It's way better. I'm not accidentally throwing a grenade instead of jumping now, so. Anywho.
Yeah.
That was long-winded, but that's what I've been playing, watching,
You've been playing
doing.
a lot.
Yeah. Jumping around from things, you know, and still like participating in the Guardian games and Destiny, of course. Yeah.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you guys did you watch Flight Attendant?
Yes, I saw that season 2 is up.
Season?
We watched the first episode. That's all we watched though.
It's on HBO Max. I started watching it because it was a book originally that I actually read. Sorry. It's very good. Kaylee Cuoco is the main lady. She's from The Big Bang Theory and a couple other things. Arkamara said heard a lot of comparisons with Chief in the show and Commander Shepard. What do you think about that, Jericho?
Well, you know, everyone plays Commander Shepard differently, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it like from an image standpoint or like a character, like how they're acting? Because
sure.
I don't know. I mean, I could definitely see like especially when he takes off the helmet. Aesthetics. He's like in like his normal like not combat suit. When he does have that on, I'm like, oh, that looks like Mass Effect.
That too. I mean, I haven't played it, but that's okay. So I was gonna also say Halo Infinite I haven't downloaded and I have not played it yet, but I think it's something that I would like for sure. Okay, what have I been playing? Oh my gosh, I've been listening. I hadn't even thought about it yet. One thing I definitely have been playing that I had been saying I was gonna get to was the Life is Strange original game remaster. So I started that.
Yay!
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
It is good. How far have you gotten in it? Like.
So I don't want to spoil anything. It is
the game's been out long enough. Game's been out long enough.
I've only played about 2 hours.
Okay.
So I'm at the point where I forgot the main character's name. What's her name?
Max.
Max. That's what I was gonna.
Yes.
That's what I thought. So she, I've figured out the powers that she has. And again, if you are worried about the original Life is Strange being spoiled, then like, I guess
It's been out for like 5 years, people, maybe even longer.
So I just don't. Okay, I don't know a whole lot about her yet, but it's hard for me to tear away. I love Alex's power from True Colors so much that I'm like, I think her Max's power is cool. How she can like rewind time.
Yeah.
And that's a really cool aspect, especially it's a really cool game mechanic. And I'm already kind of testing it out because, you know, I'm kind of going backwards. Life is Strange True Colors was my first one that I played. We did an in-depth review episode of that. It's on our YouTube or on our podcast platforms if you want to check that out. That was my first one, and I loved it. I think it was my game of the year last year. I can't remember if I chose that or Resident Evil, but it was between them two. Can't remember which one I said. But
they were both great.
They were both great, and so two totally different ends of the spectrum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I had high expectations, and I'm 2 hours in, but I definitely am like curious how, because it's still this. You can see it's very interesting for me to see how the games have evolved, but they have the same core. Like there's the big decisions. You can tell like what is a bigger influential decision that you make, and what is like more of like a side thing that might affect things later.
I do feel like since you're playing through it for the first time, and I haven't played it in a few years, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But do you feel like you really don't know which choice to make with this one versus True Colors? Like, do you think it was a little easier to make the right choice in the newest game or this one? Like, I feel like they didn't really give you any hints.
And to me, like right now, I don't really, it's not really clear which one is going to be like the right choice. And I'm not always like I'm the kind of person that likes making like not the popular choice to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll do that. And what's interesting about this game, and Aravi in the chat said, I'm excited you started it. First Life is Strange is one of my fave games of all time. That's
so
awesome.
Good.
He was the one, he really talked it up and one.
Life is Strange 2, also very good. Didn't think
I
would move on from the girls, but I did. Love the boys too. They were so good.
So I'm meeting people. I'm getting to know folks. There's a pretty intense scene in the very beginning in the bathroom with the gun.
Yes.
That thing.
Oh yeah.
And so there's a lot of decisions based off that right now that I'm dealing with. I'm at the point now where that's already happened. I'm not gonna say the decisions that I made yet because I would love to do like maybe a deep dive later or something.
Okay. Well, I'll have to like go through all of them and remember what I did.
Yeah, we can just discuss. But I think I'm making right now the safe decisions. I think, but to your point, it's harder to tell. I feel like what is the more like where it's gonna lead you and that sort of thing. So
I feel like the original Life is Strange does have a surprise element to it that True Colors did not. I definitely think True Colors is a little bit more predictable, but maybe that is because that it was the third Life is Strange game that I've played.
Maybe.
So maybe like I'm eager to test this theory since you played True Colors first and you're playing this one first. So
yeah,
because I was just like, whoa, I did not see that happening or that coming.
Yeah.
So, I can't wait. I can't wait till you get to that chapter. You'll know when you get to it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm still in the first chapter, so I haven't gotten very far. But so I can already tell. So there's some points where it offers up the option to rewind and change your mind, and I will not do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Sometimes like you can, and I'm like, ooh, what if I just don't and see what happens? I think I did once when I didn't realize what was gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Really, and then something happened bad. And I was like, ooh, let me read. No, do that.
Yeah, I don't.
But sometimes I'm just letting it ride.
Yeah, I don't really remember if I did that a lot or not. I can't remember.
But it's cool that you have the option. And I think that it kind of seems like a little bit of a cop out, but it makes sense with the story. You know, that's her power. Anyways, yeah, enjoying it. It looks good, but it doesn't look like, I mean, it's an older game, and even though it's a remaster, it's still a little bit clunky, but like, as long as the story delivers, that's fine with me, because it is an
Their
older game,
art style has really changed.
Yeah.
They've kept to like the roots, but you can definitely tell there's not a lot of like detail. It's a lot of just like even shading here and there. It's very simple. You definitely like True Colors, just obviously with new tech, like they're able to add way more features and stuff, but like I liked how simple it looked at the time. Like it was so unique for its time. Yeah.
That's really it. Another game that I have been playing with friends recently is I started playing Rocket League. Have you ever played Rocket League?
I've never played it. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so in light of something we're going to talk about later with soccer, you guys know, I am the most excited I've ever been. Maybe that's a little bit dramatic.
No,
I'm very excited.
Be dramatic.
Most excited I've ever been. Oh, I shook my camera.
Do it. Yeah, good.
Super Mario Strikers Battle League is coming out in June. So that's exciting. I'm very, very hyped. So I was like, hey, this is a soccer game. I like soccer games. That'll be fun. It's soccer with a car. You're driving
Snowbike Mike! Thanks for the follow, dude.
Hi, hello, thank you, welcome. I can't see them, so like
just pretend you can see him. He's skiing somewhere, I'm sure, or on a snowboard or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to the crazy. What was I saying?
Sorry, I distracted you.
Soccer. No.
We're talking about soccer.
Yeah. Rocket League. It's hard. It's difficult. The driving I don't like driving games, like where you're driving a car. It's not my style. I used to like Need for Speed back in the day. Did you ever play Need for Speed?
I played most of those games, Kayla. Okay. I have a strong urge to go fast, and that's not a Sonic reference. It's a Need for Speed reference. Strong Need for Speed.
Burnout Paradise. Hi, you two. Excited to hear about the Strikers hype. Yes! You guys, y'all, I manifested this. We've talked about this
She
before,
did.
But I've been asking for this for so long, and like everybody's like, you're crazy. Like that's not
like
even
you got the GameCube. I don't know for that particular game, but I just remember it was like one of our console chatter episodes with the console, like the GameCube specifically. Yes. And I remember you talking about like when they should bring back the soccer game. And I was like, that's weird that they haven't.
It would be cool to do what I had proposed, which this is even better than what I proposed.
Oh.
I proposed like the 3D All-Stars, how they remade like Sunshine, Galaxy, and N64 Super Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I was proposing like that, but with the sports games. So like Strikers, baseball, and there's another one that they haven't read. Not golf, but I don't know. But I'm a little
sport
concerned.
Did we forget?
Well, tennis?
Ice curling.
Yeah.
They should do that. I would play that.
I would too. Moving on. We'll talk more about Strikers later because there was a new trailer that dropped that I want to talk about later. That's really all I've been playing. I like Rocket League. I've only played a couple games. It is frustrating and it's very like intense. So you have to like, it was funny. I was playing with a friend of the show, Cody and Hunter, and we were like, I was like holding, it's not the kind of game you can like talk while you play because I'm like holding my breath and like, it's very intense. It's basically just soccer with cars, so it doesn't sound that intense, but it is when you play it. Anyways, moving on. That's what I've been playing. Hop back into Apex. There's a new season of Apex, Jerica. There's a new character. I haven't played him yet.
God, I'm so behind in Apex. So who's the new character?
Oh gosh, I even forgot his name. Somebody in the chat.
Let's say it's
Apex new.
I was actually gonna give this person a fake name. This character a fake name.
Do it.
Bruce. It's Bruce. What does Bruce do?
What if that was his name? What if that's what his name was? That would be hilarious.
Newcastle?
Yeah.
Like the cheeseburgers, right? That's a cheeseburger.
That's White Castle.
Dang it.
Okay, yeah. So this is kind of part of our news. We're skipping ahead a little bit.
That's a fast forward sound. Yeah.
Our news is kind of combined with our expert mode because we're talking about a lot of announcements. So we'll go ahead and just go into our. I've deemed it normpert mode.
So if you've ever listened to the show before, we have our easy mode where we talk about what we've been playing. Then we have normal mode where we talk about the news of the week, and then there's expert mode where we have a particular topic that we want to talk about with all of you. But because we're meshing those together, that is now it's deemed. Can you say that again for us, Kayla?
Normpert.
Normpert.
Yes.
So
normpert mode.
There you go.
Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
I did realize I forgot to give our spiel about what our episodes are laid out as, so I appreciate it. Apex Legends new hero Newcastle season 13. Wow, they're on season 13. That's crazy. Introduces the legend Newcastle, a defensive specialist and brother to Bangalore. I didn't realize that.
Oh, cool. Siblings. Love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you've ever wished you could just build a castle in the middle of the battlefield,
yes,
Newcastle is your hero. He joins other defensive legends like Gibraltar and Watson by providing cover and protection for enemies. I think it's been kind of joking around.
Is this like their way of adding building into Apex? Huh? Can he do that?
I think so.
That's my building sound for Fortnite.
Which we've talked a little. We talked about it a little bit. Jerica and I want to stream Fortnite soon, so we'll definitely be doing that. But I have been playing Fortnite because they took away building. Because the building bothers me. I don't know.
It's hard, Kayla. Like
it's hard.
We can't keep up with the children that do the clickety clacks and the clicks and
the iPad kids.
The lubed up keyboards and stuff. Like we can't keep up with them. Well, that's what they do. That's what Audrey's been talking about, lubing her keys.
Yep.
That's what the professionals do.
They lube the keys.
They lubed their keys.
So yeah, I didn't get a chance to play as him. Late from Lunch asked, when are we 3-stacking Apex? I'd be down. Let's do it. For sure. If only you could play with more people. That would be great.
You still can't do that with Apex? I'm surprised. I feel like
I know.
I feel like that's a given now.
It should be. And I really thought with that new mode they introduced they would do that, but they did not. So yeah, that's the only not trailer related thing that I could see in the news. The rest is pretty much release dates and trailers that we got coming up, Jerica.
And delays.
That's all. All right. I know that this is something that I think you've talked about before a little bit. I have no information about what this game is because I didn't play the original. But did you see the article about Dead Space?
Yes, I did.
Getting a release date?
Yes,
yeah, you want to talk about
which
that?
I think is very. This is our main topic today. This is talking about when is it okay to give a release date? When is it not okay? Do these game studios even know the answer to that? Is that why it's just all over the place when it comes to here's an awesome game trailer? 4 years later, here's another awesome game trailer. 4 years later, maybe not that long, but at least 2 years between. Cool. And then you have something like Dead Space where we haven't even seen any gameplay, and they're just and I assume that this was at least 2 years away, maybe when they first announced it. Which did they announce it last year during something? Was that E3?
So.
E3 last year-ish, around that time, June of last year. So it's almost been a year. I don't know.
Seems right.
It doesn't. Anyways, the release date, January, right? Next
January
year.
27th, 2023.
Okay, that is not gonna happen. I just don't see it unless there's just and I think we'll get into it in our normpert mode here in a second. That's hard to say.
Normpert.
We'll get into that, but that's why I don't know to trust it. And not that it's a bad thing not to trust the release dates. We understand that making games is hard. Making games during the COVID times was, especially hard. So there's probably gonna be a lot of delays. It's gonna keep happening for a while. But that's to put a date on it yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever they put a date on it. That's what makes them feel like they should do that, right? Is it a smart move? Is it not a smart move? I don't know, but I just don't see it happening. I usually like to see some gameplay, and I'm like, okay, we're getting closer, we're getting warmer. But yeah, I'll quit rambling about it. We'll talk about it later. Dead Space. Never played it. Really excited.
I thought you had for some reason.
I've never played it, and I'm really excited to play the remake because I've been wanting to get to that game multiple times, and it's old. Like, I don't know.
You like the space games,
huh?
And you like the space games.
I do, and I love scary, and this is creepy. It's creepy, scary, in space, Kayla. You can download and play the originals on Game Pass, so that's pretty cool.
Okay.
And I was tempted to do that, but now that when the news of the remake came out, I was like, nope, not touching it. I definitely want to play the remake, so I can experience what others have experienced with this game. So
nice.
All I know is it's spooky and it's in space, and I'm so down, but I don't think it's coming out in January. Why put a release date on it? But maybe we don't know enough. I don't know. Just doesn't seem right. It doesn't. I haven't seen enough evidence.
Something I jumped the gun on. I forgot to mention. We asked you guys, what are your favorite trailers? Like what I specifically was kind of talking about, like cinematic trailers. Like what were your favorites? And so we got some answers. I'll kind of run over them really quick because we are we've been chatting for a hot minute already, and we got tons to talk about. So I asked, on our socials, and this is why you should follow us so you can participate beforehand. So I asked, like, what is your favorite game trailer of all time? I primarily said cinematic because I feel like there's a difference, between when you get some gameplay and when you get a cinematic trailer.
And it's definitely a stage. Like, that's sort of how you can gauge how close this game is getting to a release date, or like that announcement, right? Like, normally you get your cinematic, and then you get some gameplay. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years later.
Right. So we got a couple answers from our friends of the show. Yes, Jerica?
And I was like, unless it's Death Stranding, so it might be 4 years later you get gameplay. So.
That's a whole topic we need to discuss next. Okay. So friend of the show, Josh, said when Star Wars Old Republic, the MMO, was coming out, they did a series of incredible trailers. The return trailer they did is so good. It basically has a full story and you get interested in the characters. So that's always a cool thing that they do, is like, I like being introduced to, like, especially if it's a new run of a game, like, and you don't know anything about them, like, it's kind of cool to go ahead and get roped in to the game. So that's awesome. I have not seen that trailer. Do you remember that trailer, Jerica?
No, I do.
2011.
As soon as you said that, no, it's vaguely familiar because, like, I played it for like a short stint during my World of Warcraft time in college. So, and that was around the time I was still in college. So, I might remember that. I need to watch it again.
The next one, this one is one of my favorite trailers, and I've totally forgot about it until he sent this. But the other one is the original Overwatch announcement trailer.
I've never seen it.
It's really good.
I need to watch it.
It introduces you to all the characters, and they compared it to a Pixar level short film. So that's cool. Friend of the show, Brian, said Dragon Quest. Is that, I'm so bad with Roman numerals. What is an X and an I? Is that?
Say that again.
X and then I. Is that 6?
That's 11. X is 10. I had to do that math
Dragon
in my head.
Quest 11.
Did you see me?
Japanese commercial. Yeah, you were like, ugh. Next up, we have the Halo 3 teaser trailer, is what friend of the show, Cody, said. So Halo 3 Starry Night and the E3 reveal trailer for Assassin's Creed Revelations is what he said.
I'm impressed with their memory. You would think I would remember like some of these trailers from way back when, but I'm having a hard time. Like,
that's okay.
Remembering that for Halo.
Yeah. That's another good question, is what makes a memorable trailer, Friend of the show, Brian, also said Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yes, that was pretty impressive. That one's up there for me too.
Friend of the show, Pierce, said Diablo 4.
Yeah, okay.
That one.
Yep.
At BlizzCon 2019. And then Cody, friend of the show, said Hades, their trailer. I don't remember that one. So yeah, bunch of cool trailers. Elder Scrolls Online, those trailers. I'll take like a couple from Twitter really quick. We got a lot of feedback, which is awesome. Thank you guys for saying a lot. Hold on, let me see. Anybody in the chat?
Do you see?
Chatting?
You gotta look at this comment here.
What am I looking at?
I didn't. You okay? I want to see you read off a randomized list of Final Fantasy titles with their Roman numerals.
Y'all, I really struggle with Roman numerals. Bad. Okay.
But
Don't
like
make fun
Final
of me.
Fantasy, that's all they use is Roman numerals. So you're like, oh, is that 7, 8, 9? Like at a glance, like I'm glad you brought this up because at a glance, if you like showed me this Final Fantasy like game poster, I'd be like, unless I can identify the characters, like I don't know. I can identify it by the characters, not the Roman numerals.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you which Final Fantasy game that is. Takes me a second.
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking about like what the most memorable ones are to me too. The Overwatch one, now that like that was mentioned and I rewatched it, is really good. I think it really depends on like what the studios are trying to do. Like, what are you trying to like get them roped into the story? Like, are you trying to set it up for, you know, whatever you're gonna release next? Personally, like on the topic of like what I prefer, I would rather have a trailer closer to when the game's coming out. Personally.
Oh yeah, me too. And
I think that's just because you get so excited, you know?
You do. Are we getting into? We're not getting into this just yet, or can we?
Oh, we can do whatever. We can go through some of our lists if we want.
Well, I will say this, like back to what you said about like, yes, I also prefer my trailers closer to my games. But there has to be some sort of, you know, we don't work in games. I have no idea how any of that works, but there has to be some. You're seeing it more and more where studios are like putting out a project years before, I don't know, just to show like something is in the pipeline. Like this is, it's a big game that's in the pipeline. Like this is something we're working on. And I'm sure that has something to do with business and money. But it sometimes though, and maybe it is more established studios with like, if you think about like a trailer for a new IP might not hit as hard. It's like a trailer for the next Halo. Because people know what to expect when they see Master Chief in a trailer. So like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. This is, I wish we had someone that had experience in marketing for games. Because there's no consistency. There's always like I said, and maybe it goes back to like studios that don't have to prove anything. You can put a trailer out and then say the game's coming in a few months.
Yeah, I mean, you think about this, like, especially with like indie games, like a lot of time their trailers are like to help kind of like fund. Like they can even like a lot of times they'll have a trailer and then have like a Kickstarter attached to it or something like that. Like you have to even think of it that way.
Like you have cinematic gameplay and then like launch date for like an indie game because like this trailer has to sell their game, right? Yeah, it's gonna be how it gets known to people.
It gets off the ground. Yeah.
But yeah, like we'll save it for a little bit later. We'll go back to this topic because I have more to discuss.
Okay, so really quick, speaking of soccer, and speaking of like, I think they did a great job with Mario Strikers Battle League. This got dropped in like a random like Nintendo event.
They had their indie. Was it an indie showcase or direct or something this last week? I didn't watch any of it. So it was okay.
Yeah, but it was announced fairly quickly, and then like there was, from what I understand, there was no rumors of this like coming out at all, and so I think that was the last year towards the end of the year maybe. And then they had a date for June. I remember the date was way closer than I imagined it would be.
Yeah.
And that's next month, so it's coming out pretty soon. Yeah, June 10th.
We'll have to set that up. Like I'll have to bring up the Switch up here or something where we could both play that. Because I'll get that if you get it. Obviously, you're getting it, so I'll get it so we can play together.
Yeah, June 10th. I think it'll be super fun. So yeah, I think that was a really good delivery. Like they gave you a decent amount of time. And that's the thing too, is like, and we're going to discuss later, but like something you want to know, like, is it going to be worth your money? Is this something I'm actually going to like? You know, I want to see a decent chunk so I can know. But yeah, that's really all for that piece. They released a new trailer for Mario Strikers Battle League. And it was labeled an overview trailer, which I find interesting. It was a mix of cinematic and gameplay, which I like. I like when they do that. So they released that the other day. But you know, that's another layer of this conversation is like, how much do you want to see before the game comes out?
That's another thing. I do like to not be spoiled, and like I don't want the whole movie given to me in one little segment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. Do you want to? Okay, so what do we want to dive into first? Do you want to talk about the Cult of the Lamb thing, which kind of sparked this for you? Or
Yeah.
do you
So
wanna,
like,
okay.
you know, I'm really excited for Cult of the Lamb. If you haven't watched the trailer for it, you definitely should. I'll give a
It's cute.
quick synopsis. Cult of Lamb casts players in the role of a possessed lamb saved from annihilation by an anonymous stranger and must repay their debt by building a loyal following in his name. Start your own cult in the land of false prophets, venturing out into diverse and mysterious regions to build a loyal community of woodland worshippers and spread your word to become the one true cult. And it looks amazing, like the game style, gameplay, mechanics, like you're just a little character and it's one of those like almost like top side down looking where you are controlling this little lamb and like fighting things. It looks like a challenging game. It might be a little difficult. But
It looks fun.
The premise of it is just, I was sold. I didn't even have to see gameplay. I saw the gameplay and that was just like an added bonus. But the first trailer, like the little animated thing it's so cute and just it's just so funny to me. But we know it's coming this year. I think they've already said it's coming this year. But they put out I guess this might have been through that. There was some kind of Nintendo indie thing maybe that was also paired into that presentation this week. But they had a trailer for it. It's because it's also coming to the Switch. It was basically deemed like a launch date trailer.
Yeah, it was. And
the trailer literally just gave it was coming out this year, 2022. We still don't know like the day or the month or the day. And I'm like, oh, come on. I'm so eager to know. That was so weird. So
it's very odd.
Yeah, it was just odd. Like, why call it that? We know it's coming out probably this year. I thought it was gonna actually give us the date, but I guess not. So, anywho, moving on.
They just said 2022.
That's
and it said, like, literally it was labeled launch day trailer. And it
Unless we just missed it, but I still don't see a date for it anywhere, so.
I don't think so, because I thought I missed it too. Like, I saw that and I was like, ooh, that's really exciting, because it's on my list for stuff I want to play too. And then, so I like, rewind it, and I was like, wait, did they say something? I looked in the description of the video, I was like, wait, did I miss it? And then I Googled it. No, nothing.
No, you didn't miss it.
Just 2022.
All right, cool.
Weird.
On the riding the same coattails. Is that the right term? That's one of those sayings that I'm like, I might have it wrong. Might have been saying it like my whole life wrong. But I guess that's okay. It's right. Anywho, Redfall and Starfield have been delayed to the first half of 2023.
This is interesting.
Okay, so once again, this is still going into our conversation. The only trailer or thing we've seen from Starfield was it the Game Awards?
Yes.
End of last year. It was
towards the end, wasn't it?
Right, maybe. It was, I think it was Game Awards, maybe? Or maybe it was the Xbox Showcase last year. One of the two. It was last year. And they had like a little simple cinematic trailer, and launch date was 11/11/22, right? That was the initial date, I think, which was great. Cool, we have a date, awesome. But I would expect a little bit more, and I'm sure we get it this year during the Xbox Showcase. Like, it's got to be like the highlight of what they talk about. And kudos to them getting ahead of that and having the date, sort of people preemptively knowing that it has been delayed. Was probably a smart move. But man, what made them think they needed to put a date on it? Why do they have to put a date on it? Is it for us or is it for the businessy side of things? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Microsoft shouldn't be worrying about the businessy things.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They bought all these studios. It doesn't seem like money is a big issue. So I don't know. Yeah. Like, I don't know why that date was placed there, because it was already very like, whoa, okay, they're going for it. But then again, Bethesda did the thing, which I I was leaning towards really like they put the date, they're gonna hit it, they're gonna do it. Because with like the last big Bethesda game was Fallout 4, and they literally announced it, showed some gameplay, and it came out in a few months later. So historically speaking, Bethesda usually don't have any issues, but I'm sure this goes back to COVID issues, working from home. I'm sure that put a damper on some development for that game, but I think they would have known that when they put the date on it originally, though. Yeah. You think?
What's interesting, I thought it was interesting that they delayed both games in one tweet. They were like, yeah, both of these are just delayed. So Redfall was like slated for summer.
It was, and that was the one that was like, we haven't heard a peep out of that one. That one definitely should. That one seemed more likely to get delayed than Starfield, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not surprising for sure. But Starfield was a little surprising. So
yeah, I thought that was interesting. They just in one swoop they were like, "Hey guys," and both of them now say the first half of 2023. So we'll see. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that'll happen? I don't know.
I think it does. I think it does. Okay. But who knows?
Now, okay, so here's some interesting. This is our last game we're talking about, and it's one that I'm really excited for. It's Gotham Knights, which comes out in October. Here is some interesting.
Not delayed, by the way.
It's not delayed.
This one is not delayed. It's already been delayed, and it seems like they're ready to go.
Yes, but an interesting thing is an article came out where they are no longer releasing it on PS4 and Xbox One.
Let's go. No, don't put the resources into that anymore. It's been long enough. I think it's time for us to say goodbye to our old Xbox Ones.
So long,
One X, One S.
To you, my friend.
I think, and then our PS4s. So
yes,
that is fine with me.
But it's interesting though that they kind of renounced, because they did say it was going to come out on that, and now they're saying it's
they
not.
renounced.
Renounced.
Yeah, they took it back.
But that's interesting, right?
Well, maybe that goes into them hitting the date. Like, I don't know how much. Obviously, I don't know how much more work that puts on a developer having to make it for like multiple consoles. So.
Mm-hmm. But there was also, in addition to that announcement, there was also a new trailer that got released for it,
which I did watch as well.
What'd you think?
Did you watch it?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. It looks fun. It looks awesome. Like, it reminds me, I didn't realize how much it would remind me of Spider-Man. Like, and I don't know if it's just because of, like,
superhero
being in the buildings, like, skyscrapers, like, flying around, jumping around. Like, maybe that's why, or it seems like some of the mechanics also sort of, like, give me that vibe. I don't know. But I'm eager to play. The story seems really interesting, because I know nothing about the Court of Owls, but I'm very fascinated, and I want to know more. The whole, I love a good cult, obviously, Cult of Lamb. I'm really excited for that. I love, like, sneaky, evil, undercover organizations.
Diabolical.
Yep, I love it.
Yeah, so I find it very fascinating, because it's not just, like, superhero focused. It's like there's a lot of layers to, like, the Bat family, if you will.
Bat family.
Yeah. And so I think it's going to be really cool. I've heard some like critique for sure, but I think it looks great, honestly, and it seems fun. Like it's different. I like the way it looks. They've been showing this off for a while too, honestly. So I'm hoping that there's no way they delay it at this point. Like I think they've shown us enough to where it's I'm confident that it'll come out in October.
Same. So. We've seen this is the scientific method to knowing if a game will come out at a certain time. If you have enough gameplay trailers, you feel better about dates.
It's proven. Said, Gotham Knights in all caps, let's go. Hunter definitely has to be on our podcast of first impressions for this game.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have a lot of questions for him, so...
He also said, my sweet baby, Jason Todd.
Is that a character?
Yes, that Jason Todd is Red Hood, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm excited. So, Jerica, do we want to unpack a little bit more trailers and like what your expectations are, and like what, like, let's use Death Stranding as an example.
That's a
what happened
horrible
with that.
example, but we'll go with it. I don't know. Like, I feel like obviously how we consume trailers and game announcements has changed like drastically in the past 5 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years. I guess being able to stream events is. Audrey got frustrated with Destiny. I heard her. That was loud, distracted me. You okay?
Yeah.
She's okay. Anyways, I think it's definitely a change where you can stream and be a part of, like, at the time, E3. And Xbox having a showcase, PlayStation have a showcase, and, like, having these big, awesome announcements from AAA studios all the way down to, like, smaller teams and indie games. But I'm thinking more top level here with our AAA studios. And I feel like there is some, like, not, this isn't the right word because it sounds way more serious, but, like, some accountability to some of this. Like, I'm fine with telling a story over multiple years, I guess. Death Stranding is the example where we got really amazing trailers. Like, I feel like once a year until it came out, you got, like, this big, vague trailer, like, movie-esque style cinematic that just left you scratching your head, which was part of it. It was part of it. But it just sort of wasn't, it just sort of stunk, you know? Like, having to wait for that game for so long. I'm almost to the point where I don't want to know it's being worked on, or I don't even want to know it. And that was a brand new title from Kojima. Granted, it's a Kojima game that pretty much, it's a different type of beast. It carries itself, just his name. But just to have a trailer, like, come out and have to wait for so long. Like, and it's, like, definitely first world problems to have, where you're just like, oh,
I mean, yes, but also, like, that's the industry too. I mean, it's kind of, I see both sides of it for sure.
I don't want that experience again, Kojima.
Yeah.
Don't show me anything until, like, you're ready to show me more. It can still be a surprise, but I don't want to wait like 4 years, 3 or 4 years to play the game. So I'm not into that. So brings me to my next topic. Like, we're thinking about our favorite. We got to ask, you know, listeners what their favorite trailer, announcement trailer was. I think back, like, most recently, like, so far, like, I'll go 2 Mass Effect trailers. So I didn't play Mass Effect when it came out. So I didn't get to really see any of those trailers as they came out live and for the first time. But the first trailer that I witnessed live was the Andromeda trailer for the next Mass Effect game on a newer console. So that trailer was epic. I still can go back and watch the trailer. I love the first trailer for Andromeda. It was done very well. Didn't really correlate to the game too much, but the trailer was great. But I do think we had to wait a bit till we got more.
Yeah.
And it was a cinematic. And I also think about the latest Mass Effect trailer that we got. And BioWare is doing some interesting things with their marketing right now, which I don't know if they're in a place where they've lost so much goodwill where they're just wanting to put out trailers to show people that they're working on the things they love most.
Yeah.
Or they're just trying to get ahead of the game. Because, like, here's the thing. We got that awesome Mass Effect trailer. It wasn't last year, was it? Year before last?
Time is...
we got it's not, we don't even know the name of this Mass Effect game. The trailer just said Mass Effect will continue.
Yeah.
And the trailer was lengthy. Had a lot of thought that went into it, which I'm glad, because it needed to have that kind of flair based on...
Did it release on N7 last year?
No, it was during the Game Awards. Is like the last big thing. Like, it ended with the Mass Effect trailer, which I thought was just... I did not expect a Mass Effect trailer this early, which is also part of my pain, Kayla. Like, I didn't... it's like they wanted people to know that they were going to continue on Mass Effect, but that can go up in, like, a blog post, in my opinion. I don't need to see a trailer until I'm a lot closer to it. I did not need to know or see a Mass Effect trailer when I know it's going to probably be another 3 years until I get to play it.
And this would be disappointing, yeah.
So
Like
it's going to be a
waiting on
long
it.
ride. I'm sort of trying to forget about it, but that was a great trailer. It's hard to forget about it. But then you go back to like Dragon Age, BioWare's other game that's supposed to come out before Mass Effect, and it's been like 3 years since we've seen anything from it. It was just a quick cinematic trailer. Nothing really in the scene other than just like some voices and a little bit of narration. But once again, just another thing we saw 3 years ago and nothing since, really. They showed like a small like environmental gameplay thing I think last year, but that's it. That's all we've seen. So yeah, game trailers are really cool, but I don't like it. I don't like it when they're so far away.
Yeah.
It stinks.
Sure. Another one, I don't know. I'm sorry. I had to remember because I just thought about something. Another one I remember you saying you really liked was the Hellblade 2.
Oh, that's my
trailer.
Actually. We'll go back to that.
Yeah.
I'm not too mad about it because let me show you the progress with this game. Okay.
Okay.
It hasn't been too long ago. I think like 2 years ago they had the first trailer. I think it was like 2 years ago. 2 Game Awards. 3 maybe? 3 Game Awards ago? 2 or 3.
I'm looking it up.
Actually just one of my favorite, like, in terms of loving the trailer, music, cinematography, like, it was... I watched that trailer from time to time over and over.
2019.
Okay.
It's been a couple years.
Okay, so, yeah, 2 years. Which is great. That's definitely an early development. And then last year was the first time we saw gameplay. That was at the Game Awards last year. We saw gameplay from it. So, I don't know. That seems to be on the right path here. Like, maybe 2 years is... I can go that long without seeing anything else from something, I guess. Isn't that crazy? We talk in years to seeing more from, like, these big announcements. Like, it's so painful.
It's still slated for late 2022, if that happens.
Nah, that won't.
Late from Lunch said, remember the Beyond Good and Evil 2 reveal?
Oh, God, no, don't. Actually, I take back everything I said about Death Stranding. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is probably the worst situation out of all this, because I don't even know if that game's going to happen at this point. I don't know if there's even been an update for it, but that was announced when me and Late for Lunch went to E3 for the first time, which was 2017, 2016.
The first game came out in 2003.
First game came out with that trailer was amazing. When did that trailer come out?
Original.
You just couldn't that was one of those trailers you couldn't believe it was actually happening. But Kayla, are you looking up the date?
Yes.
I cannot wait for you to give us the date from when this trailer...
When did hold on.
Yeah, Late from Lunch says, last I heard that game is dead in the water. I would assume so, at this point.
E3 2018.
2018, okay.
Yes.
I feel like it was longer than that, but, like, here's the difference with some of the other games I mentioned. There was continuous trailers or gameplay updates with it. With this game, you haven't really seen anything since. Nothing.
Yep.
Every Ubisoft conference, you're always like, maybe it's the one last thing they'll show, but it never happens. It's just nothing against Just Dance, but Assassin's Creed, Just Dance, that's usually what you get. Assassin's Creed, Just Dance, maybe that will get combined at some point.
They make a lot of the money from those.
Yeah, but yeah, never Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is one of those things that it's not the trailer's fault. It sounds like the project's just not going well. So maybe that has a connection to some of the trailers that come out and we don't hear from them for a while. Maybe development's just rocky.
True.
So.
Well, I think this was a great discussion, and like obviously we're not professionals, we don't have all the answers, but we are consumers, and so like we are the ones watching these pieces and like
I'd be darned if some of these announcements, if I see a trailer and no release date, but they're like, let's get your pre-order now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Like,
Yeah.
not fair.
Oh, speaking of, I forgot to mention Gotham Knights pre-order went live today. So
Okay. See, I feel good about that.
I don't know.
If I loved it that much, like I'm probably just gonna buy it digitally when it comes out. But like if the special edition was really cool and I wanted it, like I would totally pre-order that game.
They're doing some kind of special edition. Like I feel like they could do some cool like controller skins with this game.
Ooh.
Which I'm still waiting for a PS5 special edition. Have they done any?
No, I think it's just really due to demands of just like making the regular PS5.
That's true. That's
I don't know if we
Yeah.
get those fun consoles. Xbox has done a couple. I don't know if we get any from PlayStation. Like, I don't know. Maybe later in the life cycle. Because there's a lot of different PS4s out there. You know, I got the Last of Us PS4. That's just beautiful.
Oh, we forgot about those trailers too.
Those weren't too bad because we didn't have to wait too much longer for Last of Us Part 2. That was probably a 2 or 3 year wait, I think, before we saw anything else. But whenever they showed the next thing, like, it was enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's one of those games you didn't want. I don't want too much of that.
Yeah.
Reveal.
I think, like I said, I think some studios would just have a little bit more slack we can give them based on, like, previous results, like games they've put out before on time. And, like, you know, I honestly don't need to see any more God of War trailers to know that it's gonna come out soon. That's also a rumor that might get delayed this year. Who knows?
Again, oh my gosh.
But like that's just I trust that. Like if they haven't put a date on it for sure. Like they did say like holiday, didn't they? End of this year.
They did. Yeah.
That's one of those studios. Whatever they say next, you trust, right? And I'm pretty sure no one wants another Cyberpunk situation, so I get it. But just don't put a date on it if you're not ready. Don't put a date on it. I don't know if it's for pre-orders. I don't know what the dates are for these days. Just if you're not ready, don't put a date on it. Or you could be like BioWare and just say, "Hey, this game's gonna continue one day."
Is that worse or better? I don't know.
It's actually. I feel like it's a little better. It's a little better.
Yeah.
You know.
You're not making a promise, or you're making a promise, but not like a.
It's not the priority right now, but you know, maybe we could.
That's basically what they're saying.
But they could have waited a little later to give me that promise.
They could have announced whatever else first for them.
I don't know.
But yeah, I hope this didn't seem not negative. You know, it's speculation. You know,
it is.
There's some things that have been done that are fantastic. So
yes, I'm not mad about it. I just don't want trailers to come out years before we're gonna see anything else. It's not fair. I hate it.
I would love to know if you're someone like if you're listening to our little podcast and you're related to the industry and there's anything that you can share. I would love to hear any insight. If you want to slide in our DMs, would love to know.
That's what the cool kids do.
Yeah.
Slide into the DMs. Sliding into the DMs. Not to be confused with the BM.
Ooh.
That's my country song for the evening. So.
I feel like we have to have at least one a podcast.
Yep.
You know.
All right. Well,
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play a game or two.
Oh,
maybe before bed.
Okay. I need to go eat something real quick, but I might hop on with you if you're still playing.
Okay.
We'll see. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Good night.